transition now and start talking about the client acquisition system, which you may have heard me mention before as well. So the client acquisition system is all about referral marketing. It is a process. So what I typically find is when people try and get referrals and try and network, they don't have a process behind how they do that. This is a very clear, simple to follow process. And the core of it is we want to identify and build the most fruitful relationships that we possibly can from a professional standpoint. And this is a system that's going to help you do exactly that. So let's just get into it. So the client acquisition system is based on the premise that there are really just three sources of referrals. They could be clients, they could be power partners, or they could be champions. And you may have heard power partners and champions. You may have also heard the term center of influence used, and that's a much larger term that encompasses both power partners and champions. So I've just combined those there. So under source, you see three. You see clients, center of influence power partners, and center of influence champions. And each of those three are related to your ideal client in a unique way. So your source of referrals who are clients should be your ideal clients because they'll refer you to other ideal clients. Your power partners and champions we're going to talk about in just a minute. But right now I really want you to think about your clients. I want you to write down your best referral sources. And there's a space in the workbook for this. Write down your best referral sources who happen to be your clients. So pause the video here and go ahead and write that down. When you're done filling that out, go ahead and unpause it. Great job. So we're going to get into now talking about center of influence power partners. Power partners are interesting. They're basically people who service the same ideal client that you do, but they're non-competitive with you, which means not only do they not offer the same service as you, but they also don't pull from the same bucket of money or the same budget that you do. And these are the kind of the bread and butter of most networking groups is based upon identifying your power partners and then working through those. So again, definition of a power partner is you serve the same client, but you are non-competitive with one another. So go ahead and pause the recording here and write down your best power partners in terms of referrers. So the next part, or the third element, is your center of influence champions. And this is probably one of the more challenging networking concepts to think about. Your center of influencing champions, they are people who can influence your ideal client. So if you think of the sphere of people that your ideal client knows and the sphere of people that you know, your center of influence champions are going to be people that not only you admire and respect, and not only people who are respected and trusted by your ideal clients, but also people that get the value of what you do and they have to trust you. If they check all four of those boxes, meaning you admire and respect them, your ideal client also respects them and they can influence your ideal client, and your ideal client trusts them. And then they themselves, as a champion, appreciate the value of what you do. They genuinely have an appreciation for you, and they trust you. That's someone who can be a very powerful referrer for you. They will put you in touch with some of your best clients. So go ahead and pause the recording here and write down any champions that you might have. Well done. So now you've already noted down your you've noted down several potential referring partners for yourself. You've noted down your clients, your ideal clients. You've noted down your center of influence power partners and your center of influence champions. So now we're all set to move to the next step of the client acquisition system. That's probably more relationships than you can maintain consciously. So just pick the number of relationships first that you want to nurture and you want to maintain. Overall, just pick a number. Do you have time for 5 of those, 10 of those, 15 of those? No more than 15, because we just want to focus our efforts on the most fruitful ones. So if it's as few as 5 or as many as 15, that's okay. But just go ahead and pick the number now. Now what I want you to do is choose the frequency with which you will meet with each of these individuals. It has to be one-on-one. So if you're going to a networking meeting and you happen to see them there, it doesn't count. This is a one-on-one conversation. So you can meet with them either every 45 days, every 60 days, or every 90 days. So go ahead and pick. And by the way, this means that you're going to be meeting with each of your relationships every 45, 60, or 90 days. So if you picked, let's just say you wanted to nurture 10 relationships, you'll be meeting with each of those 10 people either every 45 days, every 60 days, or every 90 days. So go ahead and pick that interval right now, and it's probably based on your time that you have available. So in order to help with this, I've included a referral tracker spreadsheet that you can download. It's in an Excel format, and it allows you to track referrals. So you can actually have the name. There's several very straightforward columns, but the two money columns are how many referrals you got from that person and how many of those referrals converted to clients. And so what I'd like you to do is use that referral tracker to evaluate these relationships that you've picked every 3 months. And what you do is if there's anyone on there that's not performing, that they don't provide you referrals, or they provide you a lot of referrals and no clients, meaning they're providing really crappy referrals, you want to go ahead and drop them and replace them with someone new. And it's totally normal to have half your list turn over as you're getting started. So in the first 3 to 6 months, you're going to see a lot of churn, and then it'll probably stabilize out. So use that referral tracker to make sure you're investing in the right relationships.